Hello guys, and welcome to my channel. Today I will show you how I made these delicious al pastor style Seitan tacos. If you have yet to watch my drumstick video, please head on over to that now. That's where I will show you step by step how to wash the flour. It is the first 12 minutes of that video. And this is the consistency that you want in your dough. It is very elastic and it is ready to be seasoned. Here are all the seasonings that I will be using. I will also include a list of all these ingredients in the description box below. And here we have some oregano, thyme, cumin, and white pepper, red chili flakes, and the chicken flavored consommé, achiote paste, chili powder, and smoked paprika, garlic and onion powder, rice vinegar and liquid smoke, half of a beet, fresh beet, and we also use some juice from this canned pineapple. We are now going to combine all the ingredients to create a paste, and that paste we're going to incorporate into the dough using the blender as well. I added 4 tablespoons of pineapple juice and 2 tablespoons of oil before I blended everything together. And here is what the paste looked like. And this is the dough ready to be seasoned. I cut the dough into 8 individual pieces so that it is easier to blend it in with the paste. And I did do this in small batches so that I wouldn't put so much strain on my blender. As you see here, I added some pineapple juice into the blender cup that still had some paste in it. I wanted to use every little bit of it. I later added this into the simmering broth. I then went ahead and separated the dough into 2 pieces, and I made them into a ball, and I left them to rest for 40 minutes. I took the dough and made 2 knots by stretching it as much as it allowed, and then I went ahead and made 2 individual knots. As you see here, I am shaping it with my hand to make that dough long before I knot it. I did the knots on both of the dough balls, and here is what they look like. It is now time to fry them before we simmer. I made sure to brown the dough on all sides before I added the simmering broth. I added water as well as the remaining seasoning that was left in my blender cup. I also added the remaining juice or water that was left over at the bottom of the bowl. I then added some chicken flavored consommé and the achiote paste. I used 1/4 of that, and 1 tablespoon of the consommé. I also added my favorite seasoning, garlic, herb, and black pepper sea salt from McCormick, a little bit of that. And then I allowed the seitan dough to simmer on a very low simmer where it's barely bubbling, as you see here, for 1.5 hours. And halfway through, I went ahead and flipped the seitan dough over so that it cooked evenly. This is 1.5 hours later. The seitan dough is now all done cooking, and I'm gonna go ahead and show you what the texture looked like. I did rest this overnight to make it more dense, and I cooked it the following morning. This is what it looks like after resting overnight. I'm now gonna cut it into little slivers to add to my mini spit that I made. I took the pineapple and cut both ends off. I then stood it up and cut the outer layers off. I used about 2 inches of the bottom piece and inserted these skewers into it, and that's where I added the seitan after I sliced it. And here you see where I am slicing the seitan as thin as possible. I then made a quick marinade to marinate it in before I added to the skewers. I used some of the broth to make the marinade with. I used garlic powder, chili powder, smoked paprika, and garlic salt in that. And then I went ahead and I placed the sliced seitan in it to marinate for a few minutes before adding it onto the mini spit. It is now ready to go into the oven. I roasted it in the oven at 375 for a total of 45 minutes. And while the seitan was in the oven, I went ahead and I made a raw avocado salsa, as well as one that had tomatillo in it. So as you see here, I've taken all the ingredients, put them in my blender cup, blended them well until smooth. And here is the avocado salsa. Next is the tomatillo salsa. This one is cooked, so I went ahead and roasted the tomatillos, the chili serrano, a little bit of onion, and 2 garlic cloves. I then added water once they were roasted a little bit to speed up the cooking process. The color of the tomatillos do change once they're fully cooked, as you see here. And I did the same thing. I went ahead and I blended them, and now both salsas are done. I also went ahead and I cut some cilantro, onion, and some radishes to go on my tacos. And this is what the al pastor seitan looked like when it was fully cooked. I did baste it a few times with the remaining marinade sauce and broth while it was in the oven, and I turned it around a few times just so that you guys take note of that, so that you can do that as well, so it cooks evenly on all sides. But it is now time to cut into it to see the texture. Okay friends, it is now time to assemble the tacos, and you want to make sure to include a little bit of seitan and pineapple in there to make it sweet and savory. These tacos were rated a 9 out of 10 from my family, so I hope that you get a chance to recreate this recipe, and I hope you enjoy them. Thank you so much for watching.